Heartfelt intimacy as a spiritual experience. That is the topic for today. So, Shauna White here, heartfelt intimacy coach. And I thought I'd take a few minutes to dig into what I actually mean by that. So, it's a nice phrase, and I'm sure you have your own sense of what that means to you. And that's perfectly valid. And I'm sure that that connects with uh, what I help people to achieve in their relationships, that really feel good connection. But let's go over some nuances. So, heartfelt intimacy. We've got the word heart. What does heart mean? Some things I want to clarify about what I'm talking about when I say the word heart. Some people think that when they speak from their heart, or when they speak in an incredibly vulnerable way from an emotional place, that they're speaking from their heart. They'll say, I'm speaking from my heart, but they may be speaking from their emotions, from their from a certain kind of, well, I'll pull out the term egotistical point of view. I'm not judging anybody when I say that. And if you've been on the spiritual path for a while, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we can be in a place where, everybody is trained actually to look at the world through their own biased point of view from the head instead of from a place where your heart is an open slate for God to write in the ink of energy and inspiration, right? So when we've got our own story going on, then we can be very emotional about what we think is happening in our story. Is it going well for us, or is everything that we so dearly want not working out? This kind of soap opera drama place is a place that people can speak from and actually be lobbying for trying to get what they want and be very emotionally invested, and it means so much, and they feel like they're speaking from their heart. For the intents and purposes of how I'm using the heart, that's not accurate. The heart is, as I alluded to, this space where we actually connect with divine love in the center of our being. And when we're in that soap opera of what we think is going on for us, we're too busy in our mind to be able to connect with that heartfelt energy. Now, when we can connect with the heartfelt energy inside ourselves, and then, well, we'll start here. When we connect with that heartfelt energy inside ourselves and relate to our partner from that place, we relate from a place of balance that takes the pressure out of the communication dynamics in the relationship. And that can have a very transformative effect, even if our partner is not working on how to come from a heart place themselves, but they do desire to be in love with us. So they do want to pay attention to and invest in the relationship, but they don't necessarily have it on their mind to work on connecting from the heart place. If we connect from the heart place in those conditions, we can create amazing transformation in our relationship. But if our partner also wants to connect from a heart place, that opens up like a huge dimension of profound depth of intimacy and connection. And I want to tell you a story. Okay, so this is actually from an embarrassing time in my life. uh, Many years ago, gratefully, when I had my heart set on, I had my story and emotions set on this particular man who was very ambivalent about me, and that was my pattern for many years. I finally got out of it. I finally healed that pattern. But before I healed that pattern, I was having a particularly bad day one day because he had just dumped me and brought someone else that he was starry-eyed about to a tango event. And we were both in the tango community locally, and I was certainly not going to back down and not go to tango. So, so there I was in workshops and milonga in the evening. Milonga is a tango social dance, um, in the same room as my crush. We'll just call him my crush, and or my former, I don't know, date, and his new love interest. And I was having a really bad night. But I did at that point in my life know how to connect with divine love in the core of my being, even though that evening I was very, very far away from that place. I was totally lost in soap opera drama. However, what's really cool is that when you do learn how to connect with divine love, when you learn how to open that core portal in the center of your being to connect with divine love, it does start to, even though you can't, it's impossible to hold that connection all the time. It's really like a meditative experience, that you, when I first felt it, I felt it for like, I don't know, I think probably the first time I felt it for like 2 seconds. And then I gradually developed my awareness to work up to longer periods of time. One experience that stands out to me, I held it for 30 minutes straight while I was in a conversation with my boyfriend at the time. So that was a breakthrough for me at that time. But what's interesting is that even though that intensity of intimacy with the presence of divine love is not something that we hold all the time in the place where that energy is just like this beautiful warm glow from our chest just radiating out and giving us a smile, like that intensity of experience doesn't stay all the time. That's not the day-to-day walking in alignment. But even so, it does upgrade our energy field. It does put money in the bank, so to speak, in our relationship with divine love. So here's what happened in this soap opera evening where I was just so upset and being very stubborn anyway, and trying to, I don't know if I was trying to enjoy my tango evening, but I was trying to be there at least. And there was so the whole thing, the whole event was because we had visiting instructors, a couple, Gustavo and Maria. And after the performance, Gustavo invited me to dance. So I danced with Gustavo, and I believe we had 3 songs together, possibly 4. And after the first song, somewhere in the second song, I started to feel my heart. I started to feel that divine love energy radiating from my heart. And I could feel it radiating from Gustavo's heart. And I could feel this bubble of heart energy expanding, growing to encompass both of us. And we were both, it's like our heart energy bubbles were overlapping so that they were holding the same space in the atmosphere. And it was so lovely to just feel this shared heart energy. And I was amazed. I was amazed. I was like, who is this guy? Like, how does he do this? I had experienced this previously, with a mentor of mine who was showing me what heart energy feels like. So I knew it for what it was. I knew what it was. I wasn't like, oh my God, I didn't take it out of context. I didn't take it like, oh my God, is this the man I've been waiting for? No, I knew that this was just a spiritual experience sharing that divine love heart energy. But I was still wondering, who is this guy? Like, does he practice connecting with divine love energy himself? And his English is certainly at that time. I don't know what it's like now, but at that time, his English was not good. He was, native of Argentina and most comfortable speaking Spanish. So I tried to ask him questions to understand what we had just experienced and why he had pulled this out of me. And and created this experience that we shared. And because I certainly didn't, from the state of mind I was in. So I couldn't talk to him very much because there wasn't really much opportunity to talk at the time. But what I did find out was that he had never had that experience before. That was the first time he shared heart energy with another person like that. And so that was interesting. And it was a big mystery to me. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but okay. And so we had workshops the next day. And during workshops the next day, Gustavo shared something that showed me what actually happened. He said that when he embraces a dance partner, he tries to feel the love in her mind. And so I realized that energetically, he reached into my mind, not my head, but my mind, my whole field of awareness. And he was reaching in there to find love. And what he found was the money in the bank, so to speak, that had been built in my energy field from the times that I connected with divine love, even though I didn't, I was very far away from that at the moment that he and I were dancing. And so he pulled that, he found it, he reached in, he found that divine love connection, and he pulled it out of me. And I don't know whether when he pulled that divine love connection out of me, I don't know if he inspired that in me first and then that inspired it in him, or if him feeling that love in my mind brought him into his heart in that way, and then he pulled me into my heart, whatever, however it went. That's essentially what happened, and that's really cool. And I tell this story, maybe I need to describe what this feels like. It's this feeling like the sun is shining from the center of your chest, and it creates this like yummy, tickly love sensation that just feels like a smile. Like a smile is beaming from the center of your chest. That's what the energy feels like. And then when you share that energy with somebody else, you're feeling their yummy, warm love smile too. And it's really, really delightful. Now, I happen to think that all humans should be connecting with each other this way. Just like that's what hello should be, right? Shine that heart energy. But when you are able to practice this quality of inner connection and shared connection with an intimate partner, then you get to experience not just the heart energy, but also the sexual energy working with the heart energy, which takes things to a whole new level. It's incredibly dynamic and powerful, and the depths of where that can take you is really unlimited. So, so this is what I'm talking about when I say heartfelt intimacy. I'm talking about energetic connection that is grounded or guided by our connection with our own heart, our connection with divine love energy in the core of our being. And we don't necessarily need to, we don't have to hold that intense love energy all the time. We can hold a place of alignment in ourselves, which gets kind of set by connecting with that divine love energy or by practicing the exercises that lead to opening that up. It's now I'm getting into some more nuanced complications. When people work with me, I give you exercises and I help you understand what the steps are towards divine love energy. Is you can reap benefits in your inner experience and your connection with your partner before you actually get deep enough to open that connection with divine love energy, as long as you're working toward it on the steps, that direction, then the benefits are are still immense, even before you feel that. But that's what I mean by heartfelt. I'm really talking about a spiritual experience that is a real experience. It's not a visualization, it's not a ritual, it's not a modality. It is an honest experience that I help people find their way to. And it's really powerful. So that's at the root of all of the relationship coaching that I do. And if that's something that you want to learn more about, then say heart in the comments or shoot me a DM and let's have a conversation about what's going on in your relationship and what are the energy flow dynamics in your relationship and how heartfelt intimacy practices, like I help people with, could possibly transform what's going on in your relationship experience. All right. Have a great day.